Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 1 previews and predictions. This video is for the game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. The Seahawks will open a season where much is expected of them on the East Coast here versus the Panthers. The Seahawks coming off of an incredible season last year in which they finished the regular season 11-5. They get a wild card. They go on the road in the wild card round to beat the Redskins, and the next week in a very hard-fought game, lose to the Falcons at the Georgia Dome. But certainly not a disappointing season by any means. I think it's a season where a lot of players on the Seahawks, more than any other team in the NFL, really burst on the scene. Whether it was Marshawn Lynch really stepping forward and solidifying himself as a top 5 back in this league, whether it was, of course, the play of rookie quarterback Russell Wilson, who was absolutely magnificent, and I think it gave them much more than anyone could expect. And, of course, the play of that secondary led by Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner at the cornerback spots. And you really have a team that by the end of the year, people were talking about as maybe man for man, one of, if not the most talented team in the league to go along with their NFC West counterpart, the 49ers. And we'll see how, the loss of Percy Harvin hurts them in this first game. I don't think the loss of Harvin will hurt that much because remember, they didn't have him last year and they were still able to be effective in the passing game. Russell Wilson is able to pick his spots running the ball. And please, let's not forget that they have one of the best running backs in the league in the backfield in Marshawn Lynch. So we'll see how that affects them. I don't think the Percy Harvin injury will hurt them at all, but I think they'll be that much better, obviously, once he can get back in the fold and play again. You have that defense is still there, right? I mean, they're led by, obviously, the likes of that secondary. I mean, Thomas, Chancellor, Browner, and Sherman. When you have guys there and you have Bobby Wagner in the middle at linebacker, who was another sensational rookie last year, when you have a solid middle linebacker and now you have a solid secondary, it allows that defense to be creative up front, to scheme with blitzes, and to really sort of take it to the offense. And I look for that to be the case against the Panthers. Cam Newton, I happen to like Cam Newton. I think he's going to take the next step forward as a quarterback this year, but I think what's going to hold him back a little bit from taking into that next stratosphere is I don't really see where this team has gotten better around him. You still have Steve Smith, who's solid, but in the backfield, you still have a D'Angelo Williams. You have Jonathan Stewart, who's just been declared out for the season. You have much the same team around him. Other than that, his safety valve, Greg Olsen, is still there. Their defense, average at best. And this team didn't have a lot of draft picks, didn't really make any big moves in free agency. When you have a combination of being hamstrung by the cap and not having a lot of draft picks, it's tough to really make a dramatic turn in your team in 1 year. The Panthers did end the season really well last year, which I think went under the radar because they were out of it pretty early. They got off to a bad start. They did finish 7-9, as did all the other teams in the NFC South. Obviously other than the Atlanta Falcons. But I don't look for them to take much of a step forward from 7-9 this year. Maybe they even take a hair of a step back. I do look for Newton to be more, better from a overall maturity standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. I look for his production to be where it has been his first 2 years in the league, which has been very good. I mean, if you look at his first 2 years numbers and compare them to other quarterbacks, he's near the top of any list you can look at. I think this game, though, is going to come down to the fact that I think the Seahawks will be able to run the ball, possibly, at will against this Panthers defense. Yes, I know Star Lotulelei is now a member of the Panthers, and he certainly gives you something to be excited about. But right out of the gate, I don't think it's reasonable to expect a team like the Panthers to really put up a serious fight in a game against a team that you could say is a favorite out of the NFC to make the Super Bowl, and a team that comes back with a chip on his shoulder after what happened in that playoff game in Atlanta where, I thought watching that game they had that game in hand, but Matt Ryan and company swooped in, took that game from them. I think you see them come out again with a little bit of a chip. I think the spread in this game is 3 points. Seattle favored by 3 points on the road. Normally I would be cautioned by this because, it is a home opener for the Panthers, but I don't look at the Panthers as having this overwhelming, home field advantage. So I like Seattle -3 to go into North Carolina, the same state where Russell Wilson did play at NC State before going to Wisconsin to finish up his college career. So a little bit of a homecoming for Russell Wilson. I can't wait to see the maturity and the steps he's made this offseason. Can't wait to see it in live game action, as you can't really tell too much from the preseason. But give me Seattle -3. And again, I just think this is a team that is really poised to make a Super Bowl run. And I think it starts at Carolina, a team I think will be at least 6-10, 7-9 like they were last year. But again, I think the fact that they couldn't really make any moves this year because of the salary cap and the lack of draft picks, I think is going to hurt them this season. And it's going to hurt Ron Rivera too, talking about the future of him as the coach after this year. But hey, that's a video for another time. Looking forward to seeing Seattle. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Let me know if you guys think I'm on with this pick. If I'm off, let me know, guys. You guys know if you follow me, I'm always up for a good conversation. Preview all games every week here, guys, as well as give you news and opinion on all things NFL. Thanks again for listening, and have a great day.